guys, how are we doing today? So this Tuesday Talks this week, it was a little special. It was a little different. It's kind of fun. Now, normally I come into these with at least a semblance of a plan. I have notes taken on the topic that I want to go over, and I really have something in mind. But the way things kind of worked out this last week, it didn't pan out that way for Tuesday Talks 2 days ago. So that being said, I had to come up with something else to do, and I decided to just kind of let the crowd take reins. I decided to ask the questions and put them out there and let you guys come up with our topic for the night. And as it progressed, it ended up turning into quite the night. We got a topic that I was not expecting, and now sitting at, I'm really, really glad we ended up talking about. So if you look, it'll say, relationship equality, and the way that it was posed is, how do you know enough's enough? How do you know you've done more than you need to, and when should you stop putting an effort into a relationship that's just not working? Now, this wasn't directed at just romantic relationships. This was, across the board: romantic, platonic, business, every type of relationship, every type of partnership that you may come across in life. And what it boils down to is a very, very simple concept: that equality. Okay, if it's not bringing the same benefits to everybody involved, then it's time to kind of cut ties and move along. I use the example that in the relationships that I build, the bonds that I build, the connections and partnerships, I make sure that no one person is standing further in front of the other. I make sure that the people that are involved are standing side by side. And the reason for that is, everyone always says, oh, I got your back, I got this, and, I'm right there behind you 100% of the way. Well, the problem is, what happens when things hit the fan? What happens when things come back your way? And the reason I want people to take the concept of standing beside each other is, then when problems do arise, it's not that one person taking the brunt of everything. No, you guys are right there together, taking everything in full force. So instead of, one person being the catch-all, right? Everybody involved is. The other thing to look at is, when one person moves forward, so does the other. I just had this conversation with a good friend of mine today. He got an incredibly awesome opportunity for this weekend, and I'm incredibly ecstatic for him. Not because he's doing anything, because he's doing such a big thing, but because the work that he's putting in, the partnerships that he's built, these offers that are coming his way, are because everybody around him, everybody involved with him, he's keeping on a level pace. He's keeping them right there beside him, willing to put the work in that everybody else is. And because of that, he's going to get some incredibly good things coming his way. Same goes for, romantic relationships. If you guys are working together and doing things at the same time within the same concepts, then you don't have to worry about any one person feeling left out or used or underappreciated. You get that nice even tone all the way across. Now, there's always going to be exceptions to the rules. Oh, my apologies. There's always going to be those exceptions. There's going to be those little things that make the difference for every person. We all have our own languages. We all have our own, things like that. And again, it comes down to the communication aspect of it, making sure that you guys are talking to each other and understanding what you need, what they need, how to mend them together to make sure that you guys are staying in sync and at the same place, at the same pace. There's too many situations, too many obstacles in life that if you let yourself forget about those beside you, you end up too far ahead and on your own. Same goes for forgetting people and not putting in the effort that you see those around you putting in. If you're not putting in the same effort as those around you, well, then you're going to get left behind, and it doesn't do you any good, because then you're not going to know how to get forward. So just like And just like everything, I mean, it's always equal parts. And, we sit here and we talk about equality and we talk about making sure that things are the same and everyone's on the same page. And it's such a hard concept for so many people to actually grasp. So I want you to look at it this way. If I'm going to take a step forward, I make sure that I teach everybody else around me. I show them how to take that same step forward. Now, are they going to take it at the exact same speed? Are they going to take the exact same distance? Are they going to cater and tilt their foot the same way that I do? No. I wouldn't expect them to. What I do expect is that if I'm putting in the effort to show them how to do this, they're putting in the effort to learn how to do it. And then when the time comes and I need to learn something from them, they can expect that the effort I put out is going to be the same effort that they put in. As long as you are putting in equal parts, as long as things are coming together at the same rate, at the same pace, for the same amounts, it's going to stay beneficial. It's going to help you guys both. It's going to help everybody involved. But what happens when one person starts faltering? Well, now you have a choice to make. Is this a small falter? Did they stumble? Are they going to catch back up? Or was this just a stop and they stopped moving? There's no easy answer for that, unfortunately. There isn't. You just kind of have to use what you feel, Everybody's got a little different tolerance levels for these different things, It could be as simple as they had a bad day at work and they didn't put the effort in this weekend that they should have. Okay, it's probably not going to keep happening. Let it go. Keep moving on. Someone decides to just stop communicating in general and stop talking about what's going on, stop filling you in, stop letting you in and, giving you the details that you need to know. Okay, well, at that point, then you kind of have to look at it. Is it worth you talking to them? First time? Probably. If it happens again, yeah, you might want to start looking at an exit strategy. Start looking at different things to do. The best way to judge it is situational. I can tell you what's going to work for me at this time, at this point, at this place. But is that going to work for Joe Schmo down the road? Is that going to work for Adam up there? It's definitely not going to work for Linda in accounting. You're going to have to play it by ear. You're going to have to take each opportunity as it comes. And I'm going to say opportunity. I'm not going to say situation, because situation makes a bad connotation. But every opportunity, because while these events come to pass, they are opportunities. They're opportunities for you to either move forward together or separate and go different directions. But either way, you're making sure that things are working as they should. You can't expect everyone to do things the exact same way you do. It's never going to work that way. There are too many personalities. There are too many differences and traits and ideas and thought processes. But what you can expect is effort is the same. This all really, really does tie back into the golden rule, guys. Do unto others as you want done to you. So when it comes to equality, when it's, making sure that you're getting out of it what you're putting into it, look at it in the sense that, okay, I'm putting in this amount of effort. Is it being matched? Is it being, are the results worth the effort? Are they doing the same things that I am? Are they doing the different things than me that have the same value? If the answer is no to any of those questions, then it's probably about time to start looking forward. Start looking towards your next opportunity. Start looking towards a solution and or compromise for the said opportunity, or closing the door on this situation and moving on to the next. There's no right way to do this. There's no wrong way, save for anything that intentionally hurts someone. Now, obviously, if you're having an issue with something, communication is key. It's always going to be key, and it's the first thing to do. You talk about it. You talk to them. You talk about what you're going through and what you expect. and be willing to listen when things come back on your side, because maybe there's equal possibility that if something's not working for you, it's not working for them for a different reason. So maybe you have to take that step back, look at things from their side, come back to it, and be like, okay, I see what you're saying here. Now, how do we fix this? Maybe there is no fix for it. It's a lot of maybes. It's a lot of questions, a lot of what ifs. But the overlapping, question will always be, what's worth it for you? It's always going to come back to what's worth it for you. And there's some thought process that would say, well, that's really selfish, but you can't care for anybody else until you learn to care for yourself. So if caring for yourself means making sure that things are going the way that you expect them to, then that's exactly what you need to do. Don't let things stop you from communicating. Don't let worry and wonder and doubt stop you from communicating. Be clear on what you expect out of this relationship. And again, guys, this isn't poking at romantic or platonic or business relationships above any other. This is across the board exactly what needs to be done in all ways, shapes, and forms. I work very closely with a number of communities for a number of different things, and the overlapping thing that I always see is a lack of communication. Mostly just because ideas are different, and when one person says, hey, I want to do this, another will think, okay, well, they mean doing this, when really there's some variation. So in our cases, in these community relationships, what it boils down to is making sure that what is wanted and expected is clearly detailed. There's a number of situations where we just kind of have to go, okay, we might have said this wrong, so let's go back. Let's start this over. And I haven't seen a negative situation ever be more than a couple hours, maybe a day tops, just because communication was a little lax. You can always go back and talk things through, okay? Now, within those communities, there's another situation, current and rising, where there's a high probability that things are going to have to separate. And it's at that point where we're all kind of expecting it, but no one has said anything concrete yet because we're too afraid of what it's going to mean long term. And the way that I see this is we need to just rip the Band-Aids off and say, hey, this is what I expect. This is what's being done. Either they need to meet or we need to separate. There's no walking side by side anymore. One's pulling in this direction, one's pulling in this direction, and as you can see, there's nothing on screen. That's a simple solution. I mean, it's a very dumbed down, very, very, black and white. This is what needs to be done. There's obviously gray areas to all of this. There's little bits in here and there that will be different based on, those involved and the situation at hand and the different aspects of communication that need to be done. But they all remain the same in the fact that things have to be talked about, and you have to consider what you want. You have to go by that feeling inside saying, this isn't working out. This isn't what I thought it was going to be, or I expect there to be more here. Let's talk and let's figure this out. I don't want y'all to ever just give up on something because you don't think that it's going to work. I'd much rather you say, things aren't meeting my expectations. Let's figure out why. If in figuring out why you just see that things can't be that way, okay, well then it's time to walk. But don't just give right away. Don't ever just give up. Take your time, figure it out, talk about it. Talk about what you need and what you want. Talk about what they need and what they want. Talk about what everybody needs find a way to even the playing field and make sure that you're all walking side by side. The moment one person steps ahead, you need to reevaluate. Guys, I think this is a topic that can be practiced daily in every aspect of your life. It's something that we're always going to need to work on. And Tuesday Talks is the place to talk about your advantages and your disadvantages to doing things differently. So, put those comments in the section below. Hit that like button. Hit that sub button. Enable notifications so that we can keep getting these shows out for you. And make sure you tune in every Tuesday for Tuesday Talks. Next week, we'll have another special guest, if it all plays out correctly, and another great topic. Thank you all for being here, and we will see you next time on Tuesday Talks.